104.1 KRBE. Let's get started. It's the Roula and Ryan Show.
Wake up, fool!
Hey, wake up!
It's about to get all stupid up in here!
Right here.
Featuring Eric.
Eric, he is a bad, bad man.
Special K.
The big red K.
Are you threatening me?
I'm waiting for you.
And Sam.
I am a wuss! I am a wuss!
You've waited long enough. How the heck do you pronounce this woman's name?
Roula. And
Ding dong.
Ryan. 104.1 KRBE.
Good morning.
Good morning, Houston, Texas. It's Wednesday, September 27th of 2023. And it's 6:01, actually. It's Roula, Ryan, Eric, Special K, and Sam. Happy Wednesday, kids.
Yeah.
Hi.
Is the lottery tonight? That big
Yes. Yes. It's like, I
What
think,
is
the
it now?
sixth biggest jackpot.
795 million or something?
I think it's 750, somewhere in there.
750?
Whoa.
This New York posted an article on that guy that Roula talks about that won in California like
Yeah.
a year ago or 2 years ago.
You bought that $25 million house or something?
He bought that one, and then he bought a $71 million house or something
Oh,
now.
my gosh.
He's got like 2 or 3 houses. And people are like, oh, he's blowing his money. And I'm like, people are like, he's only spent
He's
like
$1 billion.
2% of his wealth.
Also,
Real estate's not a bad investment.
no, real estate's usually going up. So
I mean, when you get a $73 million house, though, you're
Yeah,
limited
you're
to how many-
only talking to like 2% of, like maybe
I
1%.
could buy it like if Ish went
Right.
hit the fan.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh crap, I can't. Who's going to buy this?
If you
thing?
guys won $1 billion, how baller a pad would you get? Or would you even get that much of a, would you make that much of a difference?
Oh yeah, you have to. You gotta get good security.
I would totally probably do a custom build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll teach you what to do on that.
If you had $1 billion, how
Where at,
much,
though?
how much you think you'd spend, though, on your house?
If you're asking me compared to my husband, there's a big difference. There's just, I don't know if there's a price point. I feel like there's just certain things that I would want in the house.
And he wouldn't.
Yeah, because you can't go on the price point because whatever you think it is, you have to double it because of supply issues.
Because like I would want a pool, but it's like I honestly don't know how much a pool is. You know, like I would like.
Yeah.
Let's say conservatively,
you just list the things
about
you have to have. Has to- How many
Yeah.
bedrooms minimum, Sam, would you want? If you
Well-
want $1 billion, how many bedrooms minimum do you want in your house?
I don't know. I would think
You got to plan for more
5?
kids.
5 bedrooms. That seems so big. I guess if you have so
But
much
yeah, but
money.
think about this. Your mom comes to stay with your
Well,
dad.
see, I would want like a guest house by the pool.
Okay, that's
So
good.
like an in-law suite guest house that they can stay over there.
Or build another house. That way.
Yeah, but
that
once
way-
you get
your
Yeah,
neighbors
put them in
know.
a
you get all
different
that
house.
money-
You'll regret having your parents
then you
live
own
Once
right
you get all that
behind
money,
you.
though, Sam, you're gonna have like a lot more kids because you can afford them now and you don't care. And so then your mom has to stay in the house with you. Well, then again, you have to have like the
Oh, yeah,
nanny
gemstones.
suite.
The righteous gemstones.
House every house a half a mile away.
that's Daddy's house.
Because most people say, "Oh, I got another kid because I can't afford it," and then the cliche is, "Well, if you could do things that you could afford, then you would never do anything." I mean, if you waited to do things so you could afford
Very
them, you wouldn't do
true.
anything. But most people say, like, "Well, let's just budget wise for how many kids we can raise." But if you had $1 billion and you wanted a lot of kids and
I
you
don't
could
want a lot of
actually
kids.
have them, I'm
billion.
just saying, if you want like 2 more,
I'd
let's
have a
say,
house
or
like
even
in
just 1 more for
Colorado.
Santi.
I'd have New York, Central Park. I'd have one of those badass like $15 million, $20 million apartments.
Woo!
Yeah.
I don't get that. That one, that's the one I can't. I can't.
You don't like
get
the
on
high
board with
rise,
Eric.
Rolla?
Oh, hell yeah, high rise living in there is awesome.
Now,
You would be
something
beautiful.
about Central Park and New York City gives me anxiety. Like I
Oh,
feel
it's
like
beautiful.
that entire island is so stifled, and all they've got is that one green patch.
It's
That's
a
all
big
they got.
green patch. Are
Well,
you kidding
It's
me?
probably more green patch than we have here, so
Yeah.
I'll take it.
It's huge.
Is it really?
Yes, I was just
pretty
there a
big.
couple of months ago. It's
think
gorgeous.
it's-
Look, I know it's big. I'm just thinking I
I
can't
don't
live.
think you do. It's huge.
No, I've been there many times. I just can't get on board with. I think I just need the space. Like everything in New York is so compact. Like where are you going to park your car? The grocery store is not. I like big parking lots.
Remember,
I
you're
like
a billionaire.
You
You're
got $1
not-
billion. You throw a few coins to your valet,
And
and
you
he parks it
You just
somewhere.
visit for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
You
for
don't
that
And you
house.
shop for
probably
yourself.
have somebody that would
Yeah.
go
Now,
grocery store shopping
Is it weird
for you.
that you mentioned you'd have multiple houses? I think I'd have more than one house, like for different seasons of the year. Like I don't like the cold. Was it weird that I'd build identical houses? Like the room, everything would look exactly
Yes.
the
That
same.
would make sense because, like, say you have a place in Hawaii.
Your Hawaii house
it's-
isn't going to look like your Colorado house.
I'd always want to have like the comfort of home. Like, oh, I'm home.
You did that to your daughter.
Yeah,
With
I
her
wouldn't-
bedroom.
I
That
wouldn't.
confused her. If people don't know this, okay, so when we got divorced 12 years ago,
When you say we, you mean you and your
me and
ex-wife,
my ex-wife.
not us and
Yeah.
and
No,
you.
it's Roula and Ryan. You really need to tell them the truth.
That's
Roula.
why we have problems. We were once married.
People always say you sound like a married couple. No, no.
Well, guys, we have something to honestly
But when I,
tell you.
you know, look,
Yeah.
my heart was in the right place. I can see in retrospect, you can't tell when you're in the moment that you're making mistakes. But I knew my daughter was so shocked to come over to Daddy's apartment. But what I did was I literally bought all the same furniture. I made her bedroom at my place identical to her bedroom at her mom's place. So it wouldn't be that much of a culture shock. And
It didn't work, though? I don't know why it wouldn't work.
I mean, she seemed to like it. She felt comfortable in there.
But she said it bothered her or something.
Yeah, like I never knew this when it was happening, and then when I
Well,
talked
how
to her,
did she tell you? Like what she said? She goes, "I just didn't like having the same
She
room."
was just
in
like
two
drinking
places."
one night, and she was like,
well,
yeah, you know?
she just said that. I think the thing that hurt me the most because I just wanted to make sure that I gave her a good childhood, and she said that she felt because we co-parented, and she said she felt intense pressure to always be equal. Like, oh, am I spending enough time with Dad? Oh, am I spending enough time with Mom? And she said it kept her on edge all the time. So that just broke my heart. You know, like she left one, and this is like in the last year she told me this as an adult, and I'm just sitting there. She leaves to go back,
I could imagine
to
as a
LA,
kid,
and I'm like,
those kids that have to go, like, spend the middle of the week with their other parent. They're trying to do their homework. Or trying to live their life in
it's
8th grade or
disruptive.
high school.
But we moved. I moved
sucks for
so
kids.
close. Like I moved like within walking distance. So, we
But I mean,
weren't
it's
that
still
far
tough for
apart.
them because they feel
So
like they have
to
to.
the backyard then is
Yeah.
where Ryan's house actually was.
Yeah, the back-
It was the
No,
backyard.
it wasn't in the backyard.
But sometimes, as a kid, you just want to be left alone. There's so many times I would.
Yeah.
Saturday night, my parents would like go out to eat. Want to come with me? Us? I'm like, no, I just want to stay home.
Well, think about it. Yeah, when we were kids, it's like our parents let us. We'd get off on our bikes and we'd take off like on a Saturday, and we wouldn't come back until it was dark. Mm-hmm. Parents had no idea where the hell we were. We just did our own thing. We didn't sit on the couch and play. I mean, we did have video games, obviously, but we didn't. We were
Screw
limited.
video games.
We were
now.
not like they do now. Like, I mean, we weren't streaming games, but we weren't allowed to just sit on the couch for like 8 hours a day.
Well, it's different though because you had
That thing
Pong.
ruined it.
That wasn't that exciting.
Yeah,
by the time
Pong. We
Super
had
Mario Brothers came
Nintendo
out,
and
you
all
were out
that.
getting drunk in clubs.
That's true, yeah. But then you get that
Yeah, by the
pitfall.
time Nintendo came out, though, Ryan, you were not sitting around. If you were sitting around playing Nintendo like me and Eric were, then by your standards, you'd be a big nerd
Yeah.
in your
Well,
group
I was a
because
big
all your
nerd.
guy friends were drinking and drowning at
Yeah,
bars.
like losers.
No, we play Super Mario and stuff. That was fun.
Yeah, because you would have been like 20.
Yeah. Well, we
You
did.
would've
We
been-
had it, and we had it in our apartment in college.
And you could drink at 19 at that time.
only
What
for
was
a
that drinking age in Houston? Was
It,
like
it
19
was, and then
for
they
that weird
changed it in
window.
21. So I was allowed.
Only when
to,
you're younger, you fight for that. Like, they should be 18. If you fight for a country.
If you're able to fight for our country, you
But
should be
now
able
I'm
to
like,
drink.
I don't want 18-year-olds at the bar. I like it the way it is. Can we change it to 25? Or how about 35? That way it's still older people.
I think they experimented with that at one
Thanks,
point.
Eric.
They used to have a nightclub in Houston where you had to be 25 to go in. They did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think it
No,
succeeded.
All these fake IDs are so good nowadays.
But I don't know. In Philly, you scan them
You
at the
scan
club. And like can't they tell if it doesn't scan or it's like,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
ain't
dude,
a-
my
It has
fake
that light
ID.
or that code or something.
Yeah,
under the
my
light.
fake ID in college was so bad. I took an X-Acto blade and I changed the numbers around on my
Well,
license.
that's why it's bad. Because back then, the technology we
No,
used.
but I went to a place called Laser Graphics in Nacogdoches because I went to SFA, and I what do you call it? I relaminated my driver's license, which is totally illegal. I mean, it's stupid to do, but hey, I wanted to drink in the bars.
There's a place on Westheimer that would do the printed out plastic IDs.
I can't believe it would work for Kevin because you look like you're 12.
Yeah. When you started with us, you literally look like a kid.
Well, that's because I started working in the clubs when I was probably 19 years old. So they all already
Yeah.
knew me and they trusted me that I wouldn't act a fool. And, if I did.
trusted
Oh,
you.
how
I know.
foolish they
Well,
were.
look,
That's for business, though. He didn't
'cause
want
then
to skip his job.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose that job. That was my only job. Like, if I was acting a fool, they'd be like, hey, DJ Limey, why don't you go ahead and go home now? But that never happened, I swear to God.
But you should be able to work. Like, if you were working in the club,
Yeah.
when you're 16, you can work.
But they don't
Yeah.
want him
Unless you're
drinking.
not
No, they
drinking.
didn't want me drinking. Uh-huh.
You're like, I didn't drink then.
No, never.
Other stuff.
Hey, I got to put this geography in perspective on text at 37530. I don't think I'm going to say this name right, but it's Cullinane. Do you see that, Eric? Cullinane Park in Sugarland. I've never heard of Cullinane Park in Sugarland, but they said that's the same size as Central Park in New York.
Well, that's pretty
I'll have
cool.
to look at that in a Texas perspective.
Put things into perspective.
See how they lays out in a Texas perspective versus smashed together on the island of Manhattan.
But if you
Does
live,
it smell like urine and all kinds of fun stuff like New York? Is that
no, it's not that bad. Like around the park. I mean, if you live near Central Park, you're rich. I mean, you just are. It's insane.
Well, I know this because on Fox there was a show called Central Park West, and that's where all the rich people were.
I forgot about that.
I learned about my rich geography from Fox. Aaron Spelling with Beverly Hills 90210, then Pacific Palisades, then Central Park West.
There's a
and all
Hawaiian
the
one
things.
from Hawaii too with Momoa. What's his name? Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
He was like a nobody then. He was the bartender with his cool hair.
North Shore? No,
Yeah,
that
North
was a
Shore.
different
That's
one.
it.
Was it
that's
North
what it was
Shore?
called?
And then James
so
Remore
fun.
guy from Dexter, the dad.
Oh yeah, I like him.
Yeah, it was pretty
Gosh,
good.
For you, remember that those guys were in that? God, I don't remember that almost anything about that show, but good memory. All right, listen, coming up next, there are a lot of different celebrities who have had opportunities to play certain roles. They said no to, and it went on to become iconic for the person that actually took the job. But one celebrity would be worth more than $250,000 today from this one role he turned down. Who was it and what was it? We'll talk about it in Scoop. Here's your weather for today.
Okay, as we are getting closer and closer to October, it's still in the high 90s or mid 90s. It's going to be about 93, 94 today. It just really seems, I mean, my God, we're almost in October and we're not even getting a break under the 90s.
Usually by Greek Fest, it's beautiful out, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, right now,
That's
76
the litmus
degrees.
test, Eric. By Greek Festival, if it's not cool,
like this?
we're screwed.
We're screwed.
Yeah, right now, 76 degrees, 611 on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Now, y'all ready?
This is Roula and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop.
On KRBE.
It is brought to you by Innovative Lasers of Houston. I want to remind you guys in the next Scoop hour at 7:40, that is your chance to play the game Snake Oil that we're playing all week for $104. The winner of Snake Oil is going to win $104. And then on Friday, the four winners of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be up for $1,000 in a grand finale. This is all about Fox's Snake Oil new TV show tonight at 8 o'clock on Fox 26. David Spade hosts that game show. Snake Oil.
I'm looking forward to that.
So we're having fun with that. Also, 8 o'clock, we're doing the rapid fire quiz, and the Jonas Brothers are going to be back in Houston. They're doing two shows, but not together, October 7th and October 23rd.
Weird.
So they had
Okay.
to route back around for October 23rd, but the show that we are going to give you tickets for this morning with the rapid fire quiz at 8 is going to be for the October 7th show.
So the venue
that's
must
far
not have
away.
been available back-to-back nights.
I think they added them. They added it later. They
Oh,
added
they
like a
did?
few shows later, and that's part of the addition.
Because that's expensive. They got to tear down the whole stage, move it, and then bring it back and set it all up in the same spot.
Wasn't like
Yeah.
like Pink playing Minute Maid
Tonight.
tonight, and then Thursday or tomorrow? Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses is tomorrow.
With Carrie Underwood, right? Is Carrie going to be there or no?
I'm not
is
sure.
She done
but
with that tour?
Are they playing Minute Maid as well though?
Oh, I don't know. I'll look.
GNR.
GNR is, I believe so. Y'all, I
That's
was
pretty
shocked.
crazy. In one night, they got to change everything, so they got to get her stuff out tonight, and then bring in GNR.
So they've been
stuff.
doing
Well,
something
they are
different.
Minute Maid.
Like a lot of people noticed over the last couple tours that Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, was a rather large man, and he has lost all of his. He's like really cut now. He's like in
What?
Yes.
What?
For the last
guess getting
10
back on
years,
tour
for the
makes
last
you
10
get
years,
in shape.
Axl Rose has been a larger fellow, and now he's like svelte again.
How do you
Had a lot of
spell
work, man.
Axel?
AXL.
No, AXEL, I thought.
Yeah.
No,
Where's
that's
it
how you
Axl?
spell
AXL?
car axle.
He spells it.
An actual
AXEL.
You
Okay.
see Close
he
enough.
spells it AX.
It'll pop up.
AXEL. Okay.
AXL. Okay.
You're right.
2023.
Okay, let me. While you look him up,
Axl
Kev,
Rose thin.
and compare his shapes. Let me go through some of the worst decisions in movie history. A couple of them are personal choices of actors who chose to not do certain roles. You know, we've heard many times over that Forrest Gump had been offered to like four other people before Tom Hanks took it on. And then if you've watched the movies that made us on Netflix, they talk about all the things that they didn't have money for the movie Forrest Gump that Tom Hanks said, I'll put my own money in it. I really think this movie's going to do well, and I'll take a piece of the back end. And now we have all things Forrest Gump, a Bubba Gump shrimp franchise, and all the things. Okay, speaking of money like that, when George Lucas made the original Star Wars, 20th Century Fox was supposed to pay him $500,000.
Oh, yeah, he was really smart.
And they said, well, what if instead of paying you your money, we just give you the rights to whatever merchandising comes from this movie? Because they just kind of...
Oh, they didn't do that. He forced that. He absolutely, because I'm a Star Wars and a Star Trek nerd. George Lucas had the foresight to do that. It wasn't they offered that to
I
him.
mean, how smart was that,
He
though?
strong-armed them. He said, you know what, I'll tell you what. You can keep this, this, and this. I want the merchandising rights. He was the one.
It's number 32 on the list of RollingStone.com's 50 biggest movie blunders. 20th Century Fox gives up Star Wars merchandise and sequel rights for the $500,000 salary exchange, and now it has grossed more than $20 billion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that guy was fired.
Crazy. Crazy. Okay, who's the person that gave up $250,000? Matt Damon was originally asked to star in Avatar. They also offered him 10% of the back end if he would do the role, and he said no.
Oh my God,
that would
it's
have
the
made
biggest
him
grossing-
$250 million in the deal.
Wow.
if he
Holy
had taken
cow.
that movie.
Yeah, that's
I think he's done all right, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's done great.
Yeah, but
Will
still,
Smith turned down The Matrix.
that's a lot
He
of
turned
money.
down Django Unchained. He turned down The Matrix to do Wild Wild West, and that was a huge flop. And then there's another actor,
That's a
an
terrible
older
movie.
actor, who gave up a lot of major roles because I guess he just didn't make good decisions. So this one actor gave up playing James Bond, The Godfather, being in Star Wars, Richard Gere's role in Pretty Woman, and Jack Nicholson's role in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Who is
That
it?
is Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds
Burt
turned that all
Reynolds was
down?
like a big hot guy in the 70s. He was like a Brad Pitt of the 70s. He's the first guy that ever did like a centerfold in Cosmopolitan magazine.
No, he did a centerfold in Playgirl magazine.
I thought Cosmopolitan also
No,
had
it was
something about
Playgirl.
him.
That was this big
Okay.
I
thing.
had
where
the
he-
subscription.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Don't you know that was hanging on my wall?
That was before my time. So.
No, but I mean, he's always been kind of a weird. I mean, he's deceased now, but he was kind of a weird, off the wall guy and just uncontrollable. He was like a wild card.
I wonder who he
You know
played
what
as
else is on the
Godfather.
list, guys? Yeah, The Godfather.
He wasn't a
Can you
great
imagine him playing
actor, to be
Godfather?
honest with you. He played the same thing in every movie.
Another one on the list, landing at number 28, The Cat, Digital Fur, Taylor Swift, James Corden, Dame
that-
Judi
Oh,
Dench.
worst movie ever.
Is that the biggest disappointment?
It may have been
Listen,
the biggest
I'm not a big
flop.
cat person, so that just wasn't going to be for me anyway. I didn't care about the Broadway musical Cats. I didn't care they were turning it into in a live action,
Kevin, what do they
motion
call
picture.
them? The Jellicoe cats?
That's just one of many cats. Yeah, because
Special breed, right?
the play goes through different scenes with different cats.
Because you
Junkyard.
like that play, don't you?
It was my first play, and I think I hate. I hate.
Cringing.
Listen, no, I hate actual cats, but this was pretty amazing because these people were crawling all around the entire theater like a cat, and they really took on the persona of a cat and sang all these really memorable songs.
It was one of the
Jellicoe cats,
longest-
Jellicoe.
What was the other one that was
It was
big
one of the
that?
longest running plays
Memories
of all time.
was the big song.
Memories
All alone. Anyway, cat.
Can I tell you the number one? It's older, but it's still a stunning statistic. There was a movie called The Conqueror with cowboy famous actor John Wayne, and it was apparently filmed on a nuclear
The Conquistador.
a nuclear testing site in Utah.
Yeah.
It was in 1956. Guys, 41% of the people that worked on that movie got cancer and 21% died of it.
Yeah, because they were right next to
Because
it.
they filmed
Atomic
on the
blast.
nuclear testing site in Utah.
Dummies.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
hell?
That's number
I guess
one.
they didn't know at the time.
They did not know. I mean, they kind of knew that radioactive stuff is going to give you cancer.
They just say they couldn't prove it for every case, but it was pretty suspect that all those people that worked on that film for all that time at that place all had cancer, and then half of the number that got cancer died of it.
By the way, really, you were correct. He was naked in Cosmopolitan Centerfold.
It was Cosmopolitan. I thought it was Playgirl. Well, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was really wrong. Sorry.
We didn't
I
have
wasn't old
Playgirl
enough
40
to
years
see
ago?
either one.
I don't even know.
I just remember that. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Because
I got
Cosmo
mine.
Murray he wasn't naked. Like he had
Like he
Yeah, 'cause
had
they
like his
covered
legs
him up.
crossed or something. What did he have? Like he had something over covering his junk, but thank God.
Some kind of like fur coat or blanket or something. I can't.
Well, he
remember
looked
that.
like a fur coat. It was back in the hairy dude days.
I just remember as a child when you're growing up and you don't have social media, you only know who's famous by what television is telling you. So if I watched Entertainment Tonight, I just remember there was a huge divorce with Burt Reynolds and his wife, and they were like the big hot couple. And I'm thinking, I don't even know what
was he
really
married
ended
to
up happening.
Lonnie Anderson?
Yeah, and I don't remember like how that turned out. You know what I mean? Like then you just know what your growing up is and your hot actors and like the now people.
I've been trying to find this photo of me. I did that pose with a Miller Lite box in front of me.
You did?
With my girlfriend behind
You
me.
reenacted the Burt Reynolds
I
centerfold?
think I even have He-Man sheets on the bed.
Oh man.
Oh my
What is
But I was
wrong
like
with
19.
you?
I've never changed, but she.
If you have He-Man sheets on your bed, you should not be active.
I don't know if that.
Oh, yeah, like that's like the
But it was
equivalent
no
of
phone
like
then. It was just those phone. cameras that you take to the Walgreens.
Yeah, the disposable ones.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like if you were to try and like do it in today's terms, if you were having relations and you still have SpongeBob sheets.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, we were poor. You keep those sheets.
Kept those sheets.
RollingStone.com,
There's
yeah.
those
To read the rest
40 thread count.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I go back to time. That'd be like sandpaper, I bet. The stuff that we slept on in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Like tissue paper.
Yeah.
Now Eric's sleeping on 10,000 thread count.
Oh, no, hell no. That's too-
My memories of my sheets when I was a kid. I mean, I remember like
700.
I was always the one that didn't want to get out of bed. Shocker. But of the 5 kids, my mom always had the hardest time getting me out of bed because I remember thinking my bed was so comfortable. Me and my sister shared a room. We both had twin beds, and I had these sheets with rainbows on them, and I loved them so much. And for a 10-year-old standard, I thought they were fantastic, but they probably were like 150 thread count.
I never heard about
and I think they
thread
still
counts
make
till, like,
that.
2004 when I moved here.
Say again?
2003 is when I heard about thread counts. I never heard about thread
Don't
counts.
be fooled by the thread counts, though. It's really who manufactures. I bought like 1,000 thread count sheets back when Bed Bath &
But was
Beyond
that a selling
open.
point, though, in like the 90s? I never heard anyone talk about a thread count. Maybe
They're
because I was
just
a kid.
softer and they felt good. Like I bought the 1,000 thread count at Bed Bath & Beyond,
The
but
1,000
then
thread count turns into linen napkins at your restaurant.
Oh,
Well,
They're real slick.
the problem is that
Oh.
if you wash them a few times and through the dryer, they kind of fray real easy. But if you buy them and then I bought them on Amazon and they weren't the same. They were crappy.
by the way, Ryan, you're also wrong. You're singing the wrong song.
Which song?
You're singing Barbara Streisand.
Memories.
That's not the memories people are
Oh, what's the memories
Oh, is
and
it
cats?
Memories from
I
that
was trying to
movie?
sing the ones that's memories all
No, no, no,
alone.
no, no,
in
no.
the
Oh, yes.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I need to zip it.
Because I'm like,
Wow.
when you were singing it too, I'm like, I don't
I'm
remember
really
Barbara
off.
Streisand being in that movie. That's
No.
in my
All
mind.
right, I apologize. I'll zip it.
Wow, yeah, Barbara Streisand and Burt Reynolds wrong.
Damn.
Don't you want me wrong? Come on, do something. Get a-
Can't think
Somebody asked us.
Everything I'm
Oh,
saying is wrong this morning. Maybe I'll do that on a rapid fire.
then we'll,
Somebody said you should add that to the segment that we haven't done yet called Ryan Facts.
Just
Ryan-
do a
Facts.
Ryan Flubs.
flub.
And then, well, fact or flub? Fact or flub?
Factor Flub.
As long as you say it emphatically and you make people believe you.
It's
bring
all
back
believe you.
Flubs this
Let's bring
morning.
back a classic bit we haven't done in a long time. 'Cause
Tell
it's
us.
funny. Like people,
Horoscopes?
no, people call in and tell a story, and we got to see if Ryan has done it. Because Ryan has done a lot of crazy things in his
Stump
life.
the Chump.
Yeah, it's like Stump the Chump. Remember we did that like 2 years ago. It was hilarious. You call him with something that happened in your life,
I've done it better.
and we'll see if
Well, I haven't done it better, obviously, but I've done a lot of crap.
We'll see if you've.
Okay, here's the number 713-390-KRBE. If you tell us a story where Ryan says, yes, that also happened to me.
It has to be a short story though, not like 2 minutes, like a
Yeah.
60-second.
And it's got to be within the realm of possibility.
Have
You
you
say,
ever had a dream that that you had you could do
Land the plane, little girl. Land the plane.
today, Junior.
Let's see. Come on, guys, call in and
If
text
it's
us.
something like give birth, obviously no, but you know,
Well, you were there for
713.
it, and you were like,
well, I didn't push a baby out.
you felt
Sounds
Well,
like
yeah,
sometimes sounds like you did.
Well, that's at 10 o'clock when I go to the bathroom.
713-390-KRBE. If you tell us a story, let's see if Ryan can match it. Next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Good morning, everyone.
It's KRBE and more of the Roula and Ryan Show.
Okay, I like this name. The name of this game, Stump the Chump.
There we go.
Well, here's the background. If you have listened to our show long enough, it seems that when we hear a story from one of our listeners, Ryan can also chime in to tell you his version of what happened to him on certain stories. So the question is, can you tell us a story that he's not connected to?
It's got to be a true story. It's got to be like, I mean, if you went to space, you're one of the astronauts from NASA. Obviously, he hasn't done that.
Yet.
Yes. But
I want to.
You want to be up there with
Let's
Shatner?
start with
I hey, listen, if I was Shatner's age and I was still alive, I'd sell every belonging I have on the planet just so I could buy that ticket onto that rocket into space.
Don't tell your daughter that. She'll never take care
Yeah,
of you
exactly.
when
She'll
you
be
get
mad at you. So, can Brian match Ryan? Can Ryan match Brian?
Oh,
Brian's
let's see.
up first. Brian and
older. All right,
Ryan
Brian,
show.
tell us your story.
Hi, Brian. Good morning.
Hey guys, so I was in Egypt doing a dive trip and diving along a reef wall. Turned around to find my dive buddy, and instead of my dive buddy, there was a hammerhead shark about 3 feet behind me.
Oh, hell no. What'd you do?
Good Lord.
Did you touch its nose? Aren't you supposed to hit
I
it or something?
grabbed my camera and took a picture.
And he didn't attack you?
They are not aggressive.
Really?
They're territorial, but not aggressive.
They are when you're swimming with Eric and he grabs them by the tail.
And tries to pull him back.
Roula can attest to that. Actually,
yes.
You stumped me, but you didn't stump
Christina
Eric.
almost got bitten by that nurse shark because of Eric, but no.
Eric was a little intoxicated and he grabbed a shark by the tail.
Yeah,
we were all so mad at you.
I did like 4 times. I didn't realize I was grabbing his tail and pulling him back.
Oh, my God.
That one was only like, what, 6 feet or 4 feet?
Oh, is that all?
It was big enough.
It was big enough. I'm surprised you didn't get bit.
Because like a couple months later, a model had gone there to do the same thing we did, and she actually did get bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So Ryan I guess you never done that, huh?
No, I'm sorry.
All right, Stump so far. All right.
Stump.
Stumped Ryan.
He was close, though.
Brian.
He was close.
I've swam with sharks on more than one occasion, but not a hammerhead.
I feel like it counts that he swam with sharks.
Yeah, that's what I'm
but not a
saying.
hammerhead.
4 times I've swam
Well,
with
the difference
sharks.
is he chose to swim with sharks that were safe versus Brian was scuba diving and one just surprised
Yeah,
him.
no, I didn't
Roll
have
it
that
up.
surprise.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a controlled environment.
It's like being in the zoo and like, oh, I was next to a lion. Well, there's also a glass.
Right.
Okay,
It's
that's
like if that's the
no
case,
glass.
then I
I was
have a
touching
bear
them. You were
next to
touching
me.
them?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah, I get your
those are
analogy.
probably docile.
Yeah.
All right, Deneen has a story, and I don't know if it's good or not.
A Scrabble word.
No, Deneen's going to tell us.
All right, here we go.
If it's bad
Deneen,
and
hi,
illegal, I'm
welcome
not
to the
gonna
Rule
admit.
and Ryan Show.
Good morning, you guys. How are you?
Good morning.
All responsibility is on Ahmad for putting you through, depending on what you're going to say to try and stump Brian. Here we go. Let's see.
Okay. Well, hammerhead sharks might not be aggressive, but teenage girls are. I grew up with 3 boys in the house, and not being strong enough to retaliate against them, my only weapon was peeing on their toothbrushes and getting the satisfaction of watching them brush their teeth.
Ew.
Wow.
Deneen.
How old were you?
I know, it's awful, and I never said a word to them until I was near, we were well in our 30s, and I'm well over 40, so, yeah.
Wait, how old were you when you actually did the peeing on the toothbrush?
You were 30?
From about 12 until about 16.
Oh, my
You
God.
did it for more than multiple times?
Wow. That's
Are
a
you
long time
kidding
now.
me, Deneen?
That's when your
my
kids turn when your girl turns on you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So either your brothers got sick and didn't know why, or they never got sick because it's sterile.
No, they never got sick. It was just a little urine.
It was just a little urine.
That doesn't hurt anybody.
Oh, my God.
Now, I'm going to offer something, and you guys tell me which is worse. When I was in college and I was moving out of I was not getting along with my roommates in the house that we were all renting together. And they knew I was leaving, so it was going to make the rent go way up. They were mad at me. So they all got drunk in a bar one night, and they came into my room, and they urinated all over my rug in my bedroom.
Oh, I remember that.
And I was so angry at
Close,
them.
but
I was so angry at them.
Here's
what happened.
Oh, okay.
They had a bar, and they had a big bottle of Crown Royal. I emptied out half the Crown Royal, and I peed in the bottle, and I sat back, and I watched them drink my urine. And I never told them.
See, I would have told him right then.
Yeah, I just sat there smiling.
So I think basically, I think he's done what you did. It just didn't have.
Actually, it's worse what Ryan did because you peed on it and then it was gone, and so it was like the remnants of the urine on the toothbrush versus these people ingested.
Ryan did
This is
it.
disgusting. It was a whole bad mess.
That's a half point.
God.
I don't know. I give you a full point. 'Cause
Ew.
that's worse than toothbrush.
Yeah.
That's
They consumed a
that's
hefty amount.
Wow.
Yeah, I get Deneen.
They destroyed my rug. It was like something my mom and dad had lent me that rug for my room.
Because at 23 years old, you cared so much about
I
rugs.
was 22. No, I was 21.
22 years old, you cared so much about an
Surprised
old
you
rug
didn't
your
have like
parents gave
puke
you.
on it and
It
everything.
wasn't like a Persian rug.
Why would you
from
say
like your great
I always hit
grandparents?
the toilet. I
That
didn't
rug that's
throw up-
really stringy, you know, it's really like long.
People that throw up on the floor are rookies, man.
Rookies.
Anybody want to offer a story in the room to see if Ryan can top that?
Go ahead. Kev, what's
Sam and I have had
Wait, there's a really good one on text.
Yes.
I was 19 in Antarctica and was told to swim out to an iceberg. Or dared to swim out to an iceberg. So they did. And then when they got back to shore, they looked back and there was a group of killer whales.
Hell no.
Hell
They
no.
had
I haven't
been.
done
Holy
that.
Smokes.
I've never been to the Antarctic.
How about Alaska? Do one of those cruises?
Nope. Never
Okay,
been. I've
cool.
never been to the Arctic or the Antarctic. Have you
How
guys?
about locking yourself out of the house? Have you ever done that? This person said lock
Oh,
myself
my
out of the
God,
house.
yes.
I feel like Ryan does that once a month.
Yeah.
I've done it. I locked myself out of the radio station. The worst I ever did was I was on the air at KFOX 95 in Lufkin, Texas. I was in college, and you pried the door open because we were in a strip mall, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. So I propped the door open with a rock, go smoke a cigarette out front because I smoked back then. And I didn't put the rock in all the way, and the door shut. And I'm like, oh, my God, I've got 3 minutes till this song ends, and then there's going to be dead air. I'm going to get fired. I ran around the back of the building. I climbed up on the hatch on the roof, jumped down, rappelled down like 14 feet, kicked the door open, runs down the hall, and hit the next song.
14 feet?
It was really, it was like that tall, like the warehouse.
Go that high, did they?
No, it was like the warehouse type section in the back where we kept the vehicles and everything.
Oh, like the garage.
It's like the garage that was attached to it.
Remember when Special K in Phoenix had to come get me from my patio when I got locked out of my townhouse?
That was embarrassing.
Sam, I was leaving for the show, and I had the kind of townhouse where if you lock the back door, you still haven't gotten to the gate to get to your car in the carport. And it was the same set of keys. So when I closed the door had an automatic handle lock, and it was on. So when I closed the door and I realized, oh crap, my keys are inside, I tried to open it and it was locked, and I was just stuck on the porch.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! Tomorrow
so then
we
I was
should
like,
do
oh
this
my
game.
God, how am I
How'd
going to
they
get out of
you
here?
I forget.
I had to climb out of the.
Did
I
Phoenix
climbed
jump
out
over
of
and
there.
push you up?
No, because I had the neighbors that I wasn't too excited about. They're always up at all night of the hours drinking beer and smoking.
Oh, those
neighbors. So they heard me over the fence. It's just right there, and there was like, I go, I'm stuck on my patio. So I think that guy jumped over. Somehow I got in before Phoenix and Kevin came with an office chair.
Mm-hmm.
They came with an office chair,
Why an
thinking they're
office
going to
chair?
jump
They
into
didn't
my
have a ladder.
patio or get me out somehow. But I had already jumped out of the patio using a cooler that was in my patio.
We could do a
I had like
whole
an igloo.
segment, Roula and her keys.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of issues with keys.
Well, mostly because we had a
Hercules?
Suburban that I had the extra set that we only had one set for, and every time I'd come to work, one would be in my purse because I would drive the kids in the afternoon, and when my husband wanted to leave in the morning with the kids, the keys were at KRBE.
Sam does that all the time to her
keys.
husband.
Oh, you take the keys?
At least 3 times I've seen it happen in the last year.
There's
Uber,
maybe 2
babe.
sets, people.
Yeah.
2 sets.
Hey, time for KRBE's
He's
Roula
listening,
and Ryan
Eric.
show to
I
tell
mean, he's
you
never done
what's
that.
going
That's never happened.
down in H-Town.
It's brought to you by Duncan.
Oops.
Yesterday at this time, remember I told you the story about the Jack in the Box lawsuit over by the airport?
Well, that's exploded everywhere now. Now the whole
So
national media
everybody's
has
talking about this.
Yeah.
It's picked up because the woman shot at the customers because they did something to irritate her. Now she's going very public because she got that deferred adjudication, which we looked up after the story. It means it comes off her record. Okay. She literally tried to shoot somebody. So now she's being very vocal about it. She's defending herself. She's saying, I was being called racial slurs. Now, the people that were shot at deny this. The video shows her checking her gun. She said she asked him to drive away several times. He refused. In the court filings, the fast food restaurant denied the allegations and said it had no control over and is not legally responsible for third parties. The video
That sounds
captures.
like
that's
that sounds like
passing
one
the
of
buck.
those statements of like, we can't, we're not getting part of that.
You
That's
hired
what that
the
sounds
employee
like.
and they
Shoot
shot at your
people.
customer.
Well, you don't know that employee is going to take those measures.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, how do you
bring a gun to work?
I'm sorry, but you hire people. You're responsible for their actions.
Well, you're not responsible for if they're going to bring a gun to work. You can tell them not to, right? But how can you control that person every day and
Right.
not packing a gun in their pocket?
Well, I would think that you would
You hope they don't.
inform people you're not allowed to take firearms to work.
She should have just peed on the curly fries and got revenge like that listener with the
Ew,
toothbrush.
Yeah.
That sounds safer.
If
Don't go
she
to
was
jail.
called these slurs or these horrible words, then, shame on the people that did that, but that gives you no right to shoot somebody.
Or wouldn't you be better
Well,
off shooting
even
the
in
tire?
the video, which there's no sound, she's throwing ice at them and like condiments at them. And then everything is a mess. The whole thing is just.
Like, she should never be able to have a gun ever again. Like I always said, 98% of gun owners are good.
Yeah, but guess
people.
what? If you got deferred adjudication, it's all going to come off her record. So, yeah, she'll be able to get a gun eventually.
That's not good.
So, the Astros, I mean, why are they doing this to us? I mean, it's like, God, we are in danger of
They're
not
down
being in the
2-0.
playoffs.
I'm like, I have to go to bed, so I didn't even get to see
Yeah,
it.
they lost 6-2.
Yeah, when I saw it was 2-0 also, Eric, I was like, checked out.
Yeah,
I'm not
like-
going to stay up late to watch something not go our way. I'll
This is
just
a
get the
nail
happy
biter.
news in the morning, and we
It's-
lost.
You think we're going to make playoffs?
Well, they got to win. Tonight's pretty much a must-win,
Tonight's a must-win.
they're saying, because
If we
Seattle-
lose, then
I mean, you still got 3 more chances to get hope they lose. It's just
you got to hope the other team's that.
You just win
But
tonight.
it's just best.
Hell,
if
I
you
didn't think they
win.
were going to miss
Just
the playoffs. I just want them to win the AL West, but I didn't know they were in jeopardy of not even
Kev should be
making it
happy.
at all.
The Phillies made it. They clinched. They're in the playoffs.
Woo, clinchers.
That's what their name is. Their team name is Clinchers,
yeah.
Kev.
Well, my
Okay, coming
prank
up-
call is going to make you clench.
Right.
Oh,
What, your
Apparently,
butt
are you?
cheeks?
Are you? Is this more of the saga of the lady who hasn't paid for the chaise lounger?
Absolutely, and now
Oh,
she's
God,
drunk and
yes.
out of jail.
Oh, God. Cannot
Okay, we
wait.
have to update you with what he's told the recordings already and how they're tracking his fake stories, and then we'll hear the next part of the saga on the Roula and Ryan Show.